going on this.
All right, girlfriend, the floor is yours.
All right, I'm actually not speaking first, but if you don't know me, I am Tanner Pueller. I am an Emerald Ambassador. I'm going to hand it off to Jodie. She is going to give you a little bit of a business inspiration, and we will hand it off to her. So Jodie, whenever you're ready.
Awesome. Thank you. Hi, guys. Thanks for inviting me. I am so happy to be here. I am a part of a different team, and apparently you invite different people to come and share. And so I get to be that for you guys. So yay. What an honor. So I am a Sapphire ambassador, and I have been taking the products for 5 years almost, and absolutely love just so much. I could share my whole story, but that is not why I'm here. You will have to hit me up another time if you want to hear more about who I am. But I'm excited to share just a little bit with you about something that God taught me while I was on a trip to Florida. So let me just share. I only have 10 minutes, right? So I got to go fast, and I am a chatter. So here we go. So I love to power walk. Power walking is one of my favorite things. I love to just get my groove on. I go quick. I'm 5'10", I have long legs, and I love to just book it. So I was in Florida, and I live in Michigan. So in Florida, it's actually warm. I'm able to actually walk. In Michigan in the winter, it's icy. You don't really walk hardcore outside. So I was so excited. I'm on my power walk. I am just loving it. The sun is shining. It's morning. My kids aren't up yet. I have snuck out of our condo, and I'm just enjoying myself, right? And I'm an Enneagram 3, so I absolutely love to see my watch and the time go down as I speed up and I enjoy this walk. And so I'm doing that, and I'm having time with the Lord. I'm just talking with him as I'm walking. And all of a sudden, a woman turns the corner and gets in front of me, and she starts walking. Okay. And at first it's fine. I'm like, okay, this is good. I have someone else now. It's fine. And she's walking pretty fast. I think she's, moving her arms. She's got a cute Nike jumpsuit on. Like, it's going to be all right. But I soon realized that my 14-minute mile that I was cruising at is about to butt up to her 18-minute mile, right? And so you get to that awkward, maybe you've been in this position before where you're walking or running or something, and you get to that position before where you're starting to get in that uncomfortable, like, what do I do situation? Do I pass? Do I like move back a little bit? That's where I found myself. So put in the chat, what do you think I did? I get to that kind of uncomfortable barrier. Let me know. What do you think I did? Let's hear it. Maybe you guys don't do chats. My team's like a big, we actually unmute ourselves and talk, but you can put in the chat. What do you think I did? Do you think I passed her? Do you think I slowed down? Do you think I just stopped all together? What do you think? Leah thinks I passed her. Riley thinks I stopped. All right. Someone thinks I slowed down. I missed it. Passed her. Okay. We got a bunch of different things. Different route. Good, Vanessa. I wish there was. There was just this one track, and I had to get back to the condo to wake my kids up and start our day. All right. Well, whoever said slow down, that's what I did. I'm embarrassed to say it, but I did. I slowed down. And the reason why was because everything in me did not want to be uncomfortable. I did not want tension at all. And so slowing down was what I thought the best, easiest way to resist any situation that would make me uncomfortable, right? And so one, I didn't want her to feel bad that I was passing her and I was faster than her or something like that. She seemed sweet, she had her cute little Nike outfit on. I didn't want her to feel bad on her morning walk. So that was first. The second was that I didn't want to make a scene. I didn't know how to skip around her, and then we'd have to have this awkward conversation, and I wanted to avoid that. So that was reason number two. And then the third is kind of embarrassing, but I knew that once I passed her, I was in some short running shorts, that she was going to be seeing my jiggly thighs and my swaying butt. And I didn't want her to be watching me. Right? Maybe she was having time with the Lord, and all of a sudden I'm distracting her by my giant butt. Okay. And so that was my 3 reasons why I stayed where I was. Now, there's more to the story, but first I want you to say, well, how does this relate to my Plexus business? Why am I sharing this? Okay. So I started this mindset game for the next 6 minutes. What should I do? Where should I go? All this stuff. Right. And I still had a mile to get back to the condo where my husband and kids were. And I knew they were waking up, and I wanted to get back to them. And so 6 minutes of me just playing this out. What does this have to do with our Plexus business? Well, I think, have you ever been in just that full blown 14-minute mile? You're cruising, you're loving it, you're praising Jesus. You're like, this is what I was meant to do. My business is soaring. People are signing up. I'm getting business builders. I'm developing silvers. My posts are getting likes, right? And you are just loving it. You're like, this is the best job. This is so much fun. I am literally living out my purpose. I am in my sweet spot, right? And then someone turns the corner and distracts you. Have you ever had it where something turns the corner and all of a sudden you are distracted? Maybe it's a spouse that says something hurtful to you. Maybe it's a friend who messages you and says something that just cuts you just a little bit, and you think that it's probably on purpose. Maybe you're in the break room at work with a different job, and there's water cooler talk, and you hear people talking negatively about MLMs, even though they're not referencing you. Maybe it's a sideline sister that you really love, but she's going at a slower pace than you. And you know that even though you love her and she's got her cute Nike jumpsuit on, you got to pass her, because at this point you have to find someone that's going your pace. And that's okay to have maybe a hard conversation and find someone that is going your pace. Maybe it's you getting sick, or you get a yeast infection comes back, or a pimple pops up and you're like, what the heck, these products don't work anymore. Or my kid got constipated, right? And all of a sudden you start thinking these products don't work. Or you start thinking, oh no, you start having negative thoughts, right? So those all can happen, and we shrink back. And we decide to walk an 18-minute mile when we were designed to walk a 14-minute mile, because we don't want anything to be uncomfortable, right? Because even though our true potential is that 14-minute mile, we don't want to ruffle any feathers. And I get it, because I have been there. I've been there so many times. I've had so many different distractions, and I've let that pull me back for maybe just a day at a time, maybe a week. It hasn't been super long, but enough to distract me for a little bit. And I just want to challenge us today on this call, myself included, to not stay there. So in the chat, I would love to know where you are. What season are you in? Are you in a season of creative, fun, momentum, 14-minute mile season? Like, are you just feeling like you are in your sweet spot? Hopefully you're vulnerable in these calls. Are you one that is shrinking back right now? Are you kind of letting other people's opinions define who you are, and you are walking an 18-minute mile when you are designed to walk at a 14-minute mile? Or are you in the pass zone? Are you in the pass zone right now? We'll get to that. But as a pass zone, are you kind of taking back what you were meant for, gaining that ground again, trying to find it, and ready to pick up pace again? So there's 3 different zones I think that you can be in. I know there's lots of in between, and some of you are saying that as I look at the chat. But I think it's so good to, at least first step is just acknowledging what season you're in, and seeing what growth we can take and what ground we can cover after that. But if you are in the slowed down zone, afraid to pass, what is it that you need to do to get to that point of wanting to pass? Is it a hard conversation? Maybe with your spouse, maybe with that friend, maybe with someone who constantly is just saying hurtful things. Maybe it's with coworkers. Is that something you need to do? Write down the name of the person right now if that is something you need to do to get into the pass zone. Is it just having, I'm a strong believer, I love Jesus. Maybe it's just a time of prayer to ask him his thoughts towards you. You've been allowing maybe people's thoughts to dictate who you are, and you need to get back with him and say, what do you think? Leave that aside. What do you think I am? Who do you think I am? And I guarantee he is not going to say anything that is hurtful or deceitful, because that is not his character, and that is not who he is. And he's going to say wonderful things about you. So allow him to dictate who you are. Maybe it's a season of overwhelm. I've heard someone say they're just busy. Life is really busy, and you need to just brain dump. You need to literally put everything out on the table and sort it. And I leave those times. I have seasons of overwhelm. I have 4 very young kids. Life is busy. And so sometimes I just need to brain dump, and I leave that and I'm like, okay, we're going to do this. And I prioritize what I need to get done, and I can get back into that pass zone. Is it a product belief issue? like you're dealing with that pimple or that yeast infection, or a kid's constipated or whatever, your back pain has returned for a little bit. Do you need to either fix a product regimen, get with your sponsor and fix something that might be needing to be tweaked? Do you need to get with some product testimonies and encourage yourself again that these products work? Is it something like that? So write down what it is that you might need in order to get from the steady 18-minute mile back into the passing zone. Well, all right. So 6 minutes in, I think I'm almost done, right? Okay, it's 9:10. I'm almost done. 6 minutes of mindset games with myself, shrinking back. I finally say enough is enough. And I get the gumption to start swinging my arms again. And I say, on your left. And I awkwardly pass her. And as I'm passing her, you guys, I kid you not, she looks at me and she's like, oh, hi. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm slowing down. She said, I'm at the end of my walk and my condo is almost right here. So I'm sorry about that. I said, oh, no problem. She goes, well, don't let me hold you back. That's what she said. Don't let me hold you back. And it was such a powerful thing for me in that moment of just like, wow, like, this is amazing. You actually weren't the problem, right? Cute Nike jumpsuit girl wasn't the problem. It was me. She actually was cheering me on. She actually was like, don't let me hold you back. Go girl, do your thing, right? And so when we get in those moments of stuck, we want to blame, because that is who we are. That's our nature. We want to blame someone other than ourselves, right? And so we wanted to blame someone else for what we are actually believing. And I just laughed and I was like, okay, sounds good. I'll get back to it. And I got back to it. The last mile was amazing. And I had time of my life again and everything was sweet and sound, right? And so I want you to think, when you feel like it's someone else's fault, it's probably your own mindset. It's your own thoughts surrounding it. It was my own thoughts that were holding me back from passing her, because her heart was actually, don't let me hold you up, right? Don't let me hold you back. And so that is my, just a little mindset work for you today, is to just discover what season you're in, to do a little digging at what conversations need to be had, what hurt has maybe been happening or life that's been taking over, and what action steps you can do to kind of start resolving some of those problems to maybe get back into the pass zone or back into that 14-minute mile zone where you are in your sweet spot, where you wake up every morning and say, thank you, Jesus, for this amazing opportunity to share health and happiness with those around me. May I be a blessing to those people, right? That's what we want to be. So thank you for letting me speak today. I so enjoyed just my time with you. Thanks.
I did not do a very good job introducing her because it all happened super fast and I don't do Zooms. This is super uncomfortable for me. So I met Jodie in Hawaii and her team and just fell in love with just the way she holds herself and the way she talks. Obviously she did an amazing job. Please let her know that she did an amazing job. And I just love watching her on social media and the way she leads her team and just the way she pours into them. So let her know that she did an awesome job. Thank you for speaking, Jodie. And you will be seeing her again this summer in convention. She will be speaking as a guest as a Sapphire. So you'll be seeing her soon. So thank you, Jodie. I really appreciate you coming on here. Okay, so the next person I have is to my left. It is my mom, another Jodie. She will be giving a little testimony and a little bit of a background before she took Plexus, why she wanted to start taking Plexus, and why she continues to take Plexus, and kind of what her regimen is. So I'm going to leave it over to her and take the floor.
Well, Jodie, number one, that was really tough act to follow.
She's a really great speaker.
You did a really good job. And how stinking cute is she? She's a cutie. Well, I guess I have to start with, yes, I'm Tanner's very young mother. And just to give you a little bit of background for me, back in 2014, I had the gastric bypass surgery. I had reached 335 pounds and had tried every diet and fad known to man. So my doctor and I discussed it over and over and over. And we finally just decided that that was the right choice for me. It's not always the right choice for everyone, but that's the choice we went with. So I did have the gastric bypass surgery. And happy to say that I made it down to 160 pounds. That's a lot of weight in a little amount of time. After surgery, the weight came off really fast. And I always thought in my mind that I felt better because I didn't have all that extra weight. But my guts were a wreck. They were still a wreck. And I was always tired. I had no energy whatsoever. My moods were terrible. It was like being on a roller coaster of emotions, with all the changes that my body and my mind were going through. My stomach always hurt. It always seemed like it was upset 80% of the time, no matter what I ate. It was just like, I was constantly saying, oh, my stomach didn't really like that food, or, oh, that didn't really sit well with me. And, I'm not going to lie, I still do have some issues, which I will for the rest of my life, because this is, a life-changing event, and I have to battle it for the rest of my life. But I had joint pain too, knees and ankles, from carrying around that weight for so long. So Tanner came to me and said, Mom, I think you need Plexus. I'm on Plexus, and it's working out great for me. And, I'm just like, man, like, she's my biggest cheerleader, but no, I'm not doing Plexus. And my reasons, were, of course, it's just a fad. It's going to fade. It's way too expensive. It's not going to work for me. I'm built differently now than everyone. I had every excuse in the book not to try it. And I think mainly I was scared. I didn't want to take that leap of faith, because what if it did work? And she proved me wrong. But she kept on me, and she just wouldn't give up. And she said, I promise you, just give it a fair shot and see what happens. So I finally caved and said, all right, I'm going to give it 2 solid months, 2 months. That's it. And she said, wow, 2 months it takes, to even start to feel the effects. And I'm like, okay, 3 months then. That's all I'm giving it. Yeah. And I was just super skeptical, even when I started. Slowly I started to feel better. But in my mind, I was still thinking, it's one of those fads that comes and goes. Everybody's jumping on the bandwagon now, but it's going to go away. It's a pyramid. It's this, it's that. So if anyone can be more skeptical about anything, it's this girl right here. So I did give it 2 solid months. I didn't even have to, say that I'm going to give it 3 solid months. I was hooked. It was a life changer for me. I started out with triplex, and as I went along, I added things here and there just to try and get in, my comfort zone with Plexus. And but my biggest reason was just to get my gut back into check. I just wanted to feel better. For me, it wasn't even about losing the weight, although I had slowly started putting back on some weight after my lowest weight in surgery, which I still have to take off yet, some of that. But I guess for me, I had never even heard about gut health. Like, what is this gut health thing? And after taking for 2 months, I felt better internally. It's hard to explain, but my guts literally started feeling better. I had energy beyond energy. It made me want to get up and move. It made me want to clean the house more often. It made me want to get off the couch instead of watching movies all the time and, just being lazy pretty much. I wanted to get up and move and do things. And the inflammation, when that went down, that amazed me alone. My joint pain, I have really bad knees. I carried around 300 plus pounds for a very long time. So I have bad knees, but my joint pain, I could say, lessened a lot with with the ease. I mean, I started taking the ease and that helped a lot too in the collagen. And when I start to skip or slack off per se, it's very noticeable for me. I start to get lazy and I, don't stick to what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not consistent and I can feel it, within days. And I'm like, wow, I really need to, shape up. This is not happening. And I guess I just feel like it's funny how most of us have never heard about gut health before plexus, and now it's everywhere. I mean, the probio, the everything about gut health. It's like you see it on TV now all the time. You hear about it. It's always out there now in our faces. Well, there's a reason for plexus, and it's a real, this gut health thing must be real because it's everywhere now. It's obviously a thing. But currently I am taking ease for my joint pain. Of course I drink my Slim every day. X Factor is pretty much like a multivitamin. And prior to taking plexus, I had about 12 vitamins that I had to take because of my bariatric surgery. And with plexus, I've pretty much got it down to 6 or 7. So that was great for me too. I do take that MetaBurn. I love that MetaBurn, and not even really just as the fat burner, although thank you, Jesus, for MetaBurn. But it gives you that energy boost at the end of the day. I'm like, oh, I'm starting to, slow down. So you grab that MetaBurn and it helps my moods and my energy. Of course, I take the microbiome. I feel that's like super important for me and my guts. And, all the delicious drinks and whatnot. I crammed that all in less than 10 minutes, I'm sure, because I'm a fast talker when I'm nervous, and I
think it's about 10 minutes.
Oh, good.
So you're doing pretty
I'm
good.
definitely nervous, but one of the things that when I talk to people about plexus now, I don't have babies and I have another job and whatever, and it's not for me to be at home and do this as a job, but I think it's wonderful, all of you people that do. I think it's wonderful that she gets to stay home with her babies and, have plexus as a career. I sit back and watch, I watch Riley, I watch Leah, I watch Lexi. I'm amazed at how you guys do with this. And it isn't for everyone because not everyone, can stay consistent. And but I believe it's for everyone if you want something good for your health and you can stay consistent. But the biggest thing that sticks in my mind every time I talk to someone about plexus, because they're automatically, oh, that's way too expensive, I can't afford that. I said, I was in your shoes. But when I sit and think about everything I've ever spent to try and have some energy, to try and feel better, all the medications for my knees and my guts and my my headaches and everything, the coffees, I still have coffee in my life, but
You're allowed.
people say, I can't afford it. Well, I can't afford not to. I cannot afford not to. So I'm a lifer. I believe in plexus. I believe in everyone that supports plexus. I think it's great. And yeah, all because of this little girl being persistent with her mama. So yeah, that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
The fact that she, most times is consistent says a lot,
Mostly.
because this one can drop the ball on some things,
Wow.
but it's okay. A couple of things that I just wanted to point out with her testimony, which thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
You really do have an amazing testimony. I hear a lot about people having the gastric bypass surgery or surgery similar for weight loss. And then they want to try plexus because there's still that missing link. They're like, okay, I lost all that weight, but I still feel like crap.
Yeah.
Plexus is for reasons like that. And I wanted her to be able to share her regimen because I know that a lot of people say in the chats, okay, this person just had gastric bypass surgery. Like they want to try plexus. Like, what should I recommend for them? So I'm glad that she did share her regimen. And if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat, or you could message one of us personally, and we'd be able to share more on that. Because like I said, everybody's regimen could be different. It might not just be what she takes. Also, how she said plexus is kind of in your face, or not plexus, gut health has been in your face and it's coming around more. Just remember that Plexus is the OG gut health company, and it's everywhere because everybody's trying to make something similar, but just know that Plexus is the original and it is the best. So just wanted to point that out. I am going to transition now, and I feel like the product information is always last, and we're always like, okay, sorry, you have two amazing like business training and then the testimony, and then like, okay, let's talk about balance. So I'm going to rein in the parade and wrap this up and talk about balance. Carb lovers, where are you at? Carb lovers, anybody? Sugar? Yep. Me too. I love my ice cream at night, unfortunately, and I can't stay away from bread. I try to do, the low carb of stuff, but it just comes back to me. So balance is great for weight loss. But it is great for other things as well, which we will get into that. A lot of people have the question about what's the difference between block and balance, because they're very similar, but there are some differences. I also didn't know that for a long time, so I'm glad that I can share with you and tell you what the difference is. So the similarity between block and balance is that they both contain the white kidney bean extract. And that essentially is just helping you manage to break down the carbs and the sugars in a nutshell. Now, what the difference is balance has the cinnamon bark extract and it has the mulberry leaf extract. Now, what those do is the cinnamon helps maintain healthy blood glucose levels. That's going to be a mouthful. And the mulberry helps inhibit the breakdown of simple carbs. So we got the sugars and we got the carbs, and that's initially helping to break those down at a faster rate. So balance is essentially our pink drink in a capsule form. It's the most advanced formula for blood glucose support and carb control. So if you just need that extra, if you're a carb lover and a sugar lover like me, you add in that balance and they're going to work together, and they're going to work together to help that situation. So it works in 3 ways. I'm going to read off my notes because I can't remember all these. It minimizes unwanted sugar spikes by slowing the speed at which carbs and sugars are digested. So it's slowing that whole process down. And there's a steady release of energy instead of you have the sugar high and then you're going to crash. So it's slowly letting those energy levels stay consistent as it releases into your bloodstream. It's going to reduce the absorption of carbs. So it's leaving them undigested. So our gut bacteria can slowly break them down. So that's also the reason why we have to have our gut health in check. That way that gut bacteria can do its job. And then there's no flood of glucose into the body. So like I said, it's slowly breaking it in, slowly releasing it. So you have that energy and not that high and then a crash. It's going to help your body manage glucose levels efficiently. So there's, like, again, I feel like it's almost like a repetitive thing. So there's not so many peaks and valleys, and you don't have those post-meal crashes. The best time to take balance is 20 to 30 minutes before a meal. You can take it with your Slim. You can take your Slim earlier in the day and then balance later in the day, however you choose to do it. But it's best with your Slim 20 to 30 minutes before you eat. Also, balance is intended to take daily instead of when you have a cheat meal. You're supposed to add it into your regimen. I know that a lot of people take block, and when they have more carbs or more sugars in a day than they normally do, they take block and then they're like, okay, that's going to help, but then they don't take it on a normal basis in their regimen. So another thing about block is a lot of people say that you take block, and the analogy they use is if you eat 2 pieces of pie and you take your block, it's really like you're only eating 1 piece. I don't love that analogy, but to each their own. You're still eating 2 pieces of pie. It's just going to help you process those sugars and your carbs. That way it's not staying in your bloodstream or your body, and it's not storing as fat. It's going to release that into energy and get out of your body quickly. So like I said, balance, use it as a regimen and not just as a cheat meal. It pairs great with MetaBurn, like she was talking about, our fat burner, our energy pill. And then you can also do that with Slim Hunger Control if you have somebody that's really trying to focus on weight loss. So the last thing I have, if you're a no post-meal crash and you eat a lot of carbs and sugars like I do, I actually don't have balance in my lineup of things that I take every day. So I'm glad that I did have balance, because at first I was telling Leah, I'm like, great, I got to talk about something that I don't even take, like, really. But I think that was kind of God saying, no, you're going to talk about this because you need to learn about it too. So glad that I had balance. That's all I have for you. If you haven't taken balance before, maybe add that in. But that's all I have. I'm super thankful that I had the ladies that I had talking today. But Emily, if you have anything else.